halls of Elderman Ethelgar of the Witan gathers to weigh the silence left in Windreda's wake. Her hearth is cold, her household quiet, and the Thanes do not abide unanswered absences. Tonight the hall listens, the shadows watch, and every word may shift the blood on balance of Wessex. And welcome, everyone. It's me, it's Commodore Zed, coming in with some more tabletop RPGs with the Retroactive Dice community, and welcome my friends. We are here with Vampire, the Saxon Ages, candling the Mead Hall. This is session 1. A lot of work has come into getting us here, and this is the first of many sessions to come. So welcome in. I'm going to dispense with the celebratory stuff right away and get to the gaming as quickly as possible. So let me introduce the players. We're going to start with the people who we've met before, but we're going to start with Windreda, a.k.a. Ellie. She's going to tell us about herself. She's going to tell us about her character.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ellie. So I play Windreda, and this is my first time ever doing tabletop role-playing, so that's a bonus. Windreda, she is... I don't know what she is, really. She's kind of looking for power, but she's also kind of, trying not to. She is a Ventru. She's married to the Elderman, and I can't think of anything else right now. My brain is fried.
It's okay. It's okay. Canarick, played by Keywork Savior. Tell us about everybody and everything.
Everybody and everything. Well, I know about two things. I am Keywork Savior, and I do stream every so often. I was going to stream today, if not for being sick. But now I am on stream. Kenarick is, well, he's not so much a knight errant so much as a promised bastard. He stands guard of the court, protecting Windreda. That is his charge. Basically, he was a wedding gift because he was otherwise thrown away, being a bastard. But he is a very stalwart individual. He is, he has sworn allegiance to Windreda. He is now finding himself a creature of the night. He's got some thoughts, but he's pretty cagey. He's not a big talker, not as much as my other characters have been, but he's feeling it.
Excellent. Just Joshy, tell us about Suni and yourself.
I'm just Joshy. I've been playing Vampire for many, many years. Love Vampire. Everything Vampire. Thumbs up. Suni is He's your best friend as a meatsy. He just wants to be your best friend, and you're gonna love him whether you want to or not.
Love it. Davey, Werbowski7, tell us about Anarad and yourself.
Hey there, everybody. I am Davey, aka Wersbowski7. Today I'm going to be playing Anarod, who is a warrior poet in the Celtic tradition. He is a bard, a entertainer of sorts with an enchanted harp, who has recently become a Bruja, which is interesting for him. And he still figuring things out, but I think he's kind of gonna love it. I think he's getting the impression that being a vampire is quite awesome. So we'll see how that works out for him.
I like it. Rosewind, played by Nerded Art.
Hey, sorry. Hey, everybody. I am Nerd at Art. I don't really stream so much myself, but you will catch me over at the Team Wildwood channel every so often. The Hubs plays lots of retro games. Sometimes I game too. Sometimes I do art on stream. I am playing Rosewind of Lichfeld tonight. She is the youngest, the third born of three daughters to a minor Mercian Thane, who was very happy that her older sister decided to claim her as part of her wedding retinue and get her out of his hair. She's a little ahead of her times. She's a very forward-thinking woman in a very old-fashioned age, and she has made her way up in court being an outstanding craftsman and maker of dresses. So she's kind of made her way up as a lady in waiting, and she's very proud of where she is, but also very thankful to the people that got her there. And I think, much like my Bruja friend, I'm excited about this gift that I've been given. This is a chance for me to, in my mind, do some good in the world, dispense some justice where it's deserved. And we'll see how that works out for Rose One.
Yeah, excellent. I love it. Fantastic. Now, we're going to talk about our hunger for the evening, because we have a choice. You spent half a fortnight with your sires. They've given you a crash course education in what it is to be a K-Knight in the modern world. The modern being 800 CE, England, Winchester. They've assured you that you are the only K-Knights in Winchester. That it is your destiny to build this domain and to rule it from the shadows. For them. They never go into any real details as to why. They kind of keep it. Anytime they may hint at it, they shy away. This goes on for a week. They've kept you fed. You've had to make a rouse check every night that you've awoken. On the final night, they present you the 4 remaining people from the feast. The smith, the midwife, the monk still bound to the chair, not melded to the chair, just bound to the chair, and the brewwife. Aldegar, the last remaining of the sires, has informed you that this is your final meal on them. And it's your choice what to do with them from there on forward. This will determine your opening hunger for the evening, and maybe a stain or two at this point. But I'm going to leave it to you to decide amongst yourselves, roleplay amongst yourselves, how you want to handle this situation. Let's assume at this point you are at hunger 3 minimum. When Dretta, you're at hunger 4 because you were at hunger 3 due to the events that went on Saturday.
Which is funny because we know why they turned us. We're privy to that info.
Everyone's privy to it in a way. Everyone got an origin story. All right, so role play amongst yourself. The scenario: they are bound, all bound to a chair. The monk is crafted to the chair to go with the meme, to continue with the meme. It wasn't how I meant it, but that's where we're going with it.
I don't know. So the only one of our sires who's here is Aldegar?
Is Aldegar, yes, the Ventru sire.
Okay.
Lord Aldegar Trier.
Do we know where our sires are?
They've all intimated that they did have to return to their own domains. They do have things to tend to, and they've all intimated they all owed a favor to the seer. That this is at her behest. The woman in the blue dress. This is not of their own free will. There's a little bit of resentment in some of them. Not in Cadiern. Cadiern had no resentment toward you, Anared. Thalassa, yes. And she wore that resentment quite openly.
Yeah, she was a little hostile.
Zorik, he seems pleased by making competition so far away that it's not going to bother him someday. He's interested in seeing exactly what bringing the dragon's blood to England will do. Ellie and Keywork, you know what Aldegar wants of you too. So now you found yourself with these mortals. What do you do?
Can I ask if my sire would have explained to me the process of, blood binding a mortal? I'm not exactly sure how it works. You're gonna have to help fill me in a little bit, storyteller, but if I were to feed her some of my blood, could I make her into a ghoul? Or how does that work?
You were told specifically that your blood would bind. It mechanically it takes 3 separate feedings over 3 separate occasions. It's 1 separate feeding over 3 occasions. So 3 times to bind them to. Who do you want to bind? Who are you trying to claim? Who do you want to claim as a retainer? The midwife. Mm-hmm. She's old at this point. She's very old.
But she's wise.
She
knows things.
How do you approach her?
I approach her very slowly because I imagine at this point she's probably terrified of all of us. We've been feeding off of her for days. And I look straight into her eyes and I say, I think you know what will come next when we all leave this place. For most of you. How this must end so that you cannot spread our secrets.
She looks up at you. Saint Cuthbert, save me. Save me, Saint Cuthbert. And she goes to make a sign with her hand, but she's too weak. She can barely move. But she seems almost resigned to the fact of what you're saying. But she's muttering almost unintelligibly. She's so frightened of you.
I'm gonna... I go from kind of kneeling next to her and I start to stand up and straighten a little so that I'm standing over her. I am intimidating her a little bit.
Okay. She shrinks back from you.
I'll give you this choice today, madam. You can align with me and assist me, or this will be your last sunset.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'll serve you. I'll serve you, mistress. I'll serve you.
You understand that you must bind yourself to me in blood.
I saved your life in childhood. And now you bind me with the blood. Oh, what my life has become. And she accepts.
Okay. I'll cut my wrist and give her a drink.
You're ghouling her?
And I'm assuming that increases my hunger by 1.
You have to make a rouse check.
Oh, I have to make a rouse check.
You have to make a rouse check. Your hunger does not increase, but you give her a rouse check's worth of blood, and she becomes a ghoul. She grabs your wrist as she drinks, and her eyes flare open with a new sense of life as she keeps drinking. And you find you have to shake her off your arm to get her to stop.
When she's finished, I tell her that, I do not mean you any harm, lady. I do this to preserve myself and the secrets of the ones here. I wish to bring a better life for you and all the women of Wessex and beyond. You will assist me in this.
Yes, mistress. Yes, mistress. Right. You may purchase Winfled as a retainer when you have the XP. And we will finish her up. How does everyone else react to what you've just seen?
Well, Anarod is probably raising an eyebrow because it maybe has noticed a small element of hypocrisy in his Toreador friend. The fact that she says she wants to like make life better for people and things like that, but yet she's enslaving this woman, which obviously he doesn't say because it would be kind of a little rude. He doesn't want to ruin the party, he doesn't want to ruin the vibes, but like he certainly it would be picking an absolutely different approach to this from Roswin. So I think what he probably does. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say what he probably does is I imagine he activates awe, and I will attempt to draw the brew wife.
Yes.
I'll attempt to draw her into another room in order to play her some music in the hopes that she falls asleep due to the sound of my incredibly supernaturally powerful voice.
She shakingly stands when you activate your awe. I'm not going to make you roll because if you're exerting your supernatural presence for the first time. And she stands, shaky at first, but she seems more confident. Outside of herself, she follows you.
Oh, madam, come on, come along. So let's go somewhere private where we can discuss further.
She stops crying momentarily. She was weeping uncontrollably before. After watching the midwife drink the blood of the dressmaker, nothing makes sense to her. And now the bard, the scop, is bringing her to another room. And she feels comfortable. You've probably played for her before.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's something different about you now.
Don't worry about all that business in there. It's a little nasty, a little dramatic. But we're safe here. We can be calm and relax. Why don't I play you a few notes on the harp and we can just put all this behind us. So I'll start to play.
She's shaking. As you're
I'll
playing,
start to play,
she's shaking.
Yeah.
She's just shaking as you're playing, but she's starting to calm.
Peace, women, peace. I'll just start to sing. And, just I'll do as long as it takes because I need her to be asleep. I actually have a feeding restriction.
Okay.
So I figure that this is probably my only way of getting this done.
That's fine.
Or I'm going to be on 3 hunger all night.
You sing her to sleep.
Yes.
But she's trying to put herself. She doesn't want to be awake. She wants to be somewhere else. And you're singing.
Oh yeah. So it's like
it's against her better nature to do it, but she knows that if she just sleeps, maybe it will be over. And
hopefully not over.
The darkness overtakes her, and you begin to feed.
Yes, I'll take 2 points if I can.
All right, so you're going to feed from her without hurting her. Is what you're attempting.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to keep her alive.
All right, so it's going to take 3 turns of feeding. So you'll take your time to feed on him. As Anarad lulls the brew wife into the other room, Kenrick, what do you do? Josh, actually, no, Josh, I'm sorry, you were speaking. You spoke up, so what do you do?
So Suni sees this going on around him and laments his position to be not in a position to be as kind as the rest of these people are. There's a chairperson over there, and I don't know how to deal with that. I can't undo that. I can't fix that. I can't make it better. As far as I know, the only person who can make it better is gone. So, there's got to be a mercy kill, I guess.
As you approach him, you notice his mouth is still fused, but it still moves as he prays. As he just never stops praying.
Is there sound coming out or no?
Muffled. You can barely hear just a It never stops. It's not distress though. It's calm.
I'll crouch beside him and against my wishes, I think I must offer you mercy this evening. It can't be pleasant to be in your position. And I do the feeding.
You feed all the you're gonna feed up all you're gonna feed all the way to you're gonna slake it first all the way to 0.
I have to.
Okay.
It's the merciful thing to do.
Thing to do. All right.
This it breaks all my tenets.
Oh my god!
Jeez.
It breaks all my convictions.
Bye, Sunni. It's been nice knowing you.
All right. Take a
Person to live as a chairperson.
Take a stain, but you're at hunger 0.
It had to
happen. Your sire kind of left you in a bad situation.
He did.
Hey, don't you have to take a stain for making a ghoul as well?
Yes, you do.
No.
Oh.
I was getting to that. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, jeez.
Where do stain go?
Stain goes in one of the empty boxes on your humanity. So let me know if you have any more empty boxes. If you take another stain, you take an aggravated damage.
So I have humanity. Should I have 8 boxes filled because I have humanity 8, or is it different in V5?
You should have 8 boxes full, 2 empty. So fill the farthest away from the.
Farthest to the right.
Yeah, which don't fill it in. Just give it like a slash through it.
Oh, this sheet doesn't do slashes, so.
Hey.
You should have an empty dot in the middle, though, that'll remind you that the other one's the same.
Yeah, I'll remember.
All right.
We should resolve that at the end of the episode anyway. In fact, here, I'm going to write stain in big letters on my notes.
Kinerick. You are left with either the smith. Yeah, the smith. The smith.
The Smith, indeed.
The smith, he is...
Because I know my lady...
Broad shoulders, in his chair, looks defiant. Has a cloth in his mouth because he has not stopped yapping. He is bound by tight bindings and tight knots. Otherwise, it looks like he could rip through them. If it was of a lesser rope.
Milady, I can't talk. Milady, please, if I may ask you, use your gifts. Ease his struggle. Tell him to sleep. If you will, of course.
I can tell him to sleep. So what do I do now?
Right.
If I want to use compel?
If you want to use compel, you would need to use. Well, first, I mean, it might. I will let it work just as a demonstration of your power, but he's tired. We'll just say he's also exhausted from everything that's going on. So it might be normally against his nature to sleep in a situation like this, but he's tired. But you need to make eye contact with him, and you need to make an intelligence plus dominate roll.
Dominate, okay.
And I just made that up. I'm double checking for sure. Charisma plus dominate. Versus intelligence plus resolve, but not against a mortal.
Oh god, thank God. So that's 5. That's only 4 red.
And he is unprepared, so you don't even need to make a roll.
I don't.
Nope, you just need to look him in the eye. He's unprepared and tell him to sleep, and he will act on that.
Okay. So I walk up to the smith and I look him directly in the eye. I get, kind of down a little bit so that we're on the same level, even though, I'm short and such. He's in a chair, so I get down and I look him right in the eye and I say, sleep.
And he just nods off slowly and then just begins snoring loudly in the chair. Head hanging low, out cold.
My thanks, milady. And I feed. I slake 2 dots of hunger.
Okay. All right, now what do you do with the witnesses now that you have fed?
Milady still hungers, Lord Eldegar. You know that she must feed on noble blood.
She will have a chance to feed within the next few nights. Word has come that within the next night she will be required to attend a Witan. She will need to feed before then. She will need to return home and feed from her family, or at least those in her household.
Indeed. Milady, lest you forget, your gift can make those here forget as well.
I was just thinking that maybe I could make them forget.
You have
Perhaps that's best.
Do you have compel or do you have cloud memory?
I have compel and mesmerize.
So you can't make them forget. You would need forgetful mind.
You could
I was gonna
though.
say cloud memory only works for like short term stuff because I was like, oh, I could use that, except no, that won't work for a week's worth of feedings.
I was never here.
Right?
Discuss amongst yourself how you want to handle the remaining witnesses, and then we will get on to the rest of the night.
Yeah, Anurod has returned to the main room, having put a little blanket over the brew wife, and is looking at the dead chairman with a kind of a, yeah, I suppose that had to happen look on his face.
The chairman.
The chairman of the board. But he actually kind of looks a little concerned about Suni, to be honest. He kind of he places a hand on Suni's shoulder and says, "Sorry, my friend, that could not have been easy."
It was not, but it was a mercy. It was what had to be done. My sire left a mess that I did not know how to clean up.
You did what you had to do. That's still pretty horrible, though. I mean, you can't leave this lying around even in this form. People are going to be like, why is there a chair person?
Aldegar, my proxies will take care of this.
Oh,
I suppose. Suppose I didn't think of the body as a problem. I thought of the mind as a problem. So
lots of problems.
oversight on my part.
Leif did not feed on anyone, and he left almost immediately. We'll catch up with Leif when Bad Dad Gaming gets in from working late.
Okay. Lord Aldegar, you seem to have. I mean, you've been around for many, many years, one presumes, and would perhaps have command of the skills that we need to make these people forget about their recent experiences.
It is why I stayed. I wish to see how you were going to deal with the witnesses, and if you wish to change their memories or dispose of them. It was going to indicate a lot of how the next few centuries were going to go for you, if you would last that long. I was interested in seeing what you would choose.
By your leave, Lord Aldegar. These folks serve much more use than just an evening's meal. The smithy, myself especially. If you might, I would ask you, cloud their memories.
It's going to take nights. It's going to take time for each individual. I will do so. I will delay my travels. But I will make sure that this is cleaned. I will start with the smith.
You ensure our success.
That remains to be seen. But I do remove one obstacle from in front of you. It's the least I can do. Do you have any other requests?
Only that you find the means for Milady to feed. I fear what this might do to her, given that you've bestowed this gift upon us with its own curse, and her own has not yet been sought to.
I've given her the solution and told her where to feed. What else can I do? Besides...
I will figure it out.
I've said too much, and I step back.
He looks to you, Rosewind. He goes, you've made an interesting choice. I'm interested to see how this... If this is a mistake or if this is a boon.
That will remain to be seen, my lord. She is a woman wise beyond her years. She deserves our respect. I wish to have her as my ally.
For how long? She's beyond her years. You say so yourself.
For as long as we can.
Yes. Very well. Windretta, your husband's still at war, and you've been missing for a week. There's a witness that has been called about your absence, whether you should be the steward of the land while your husband is away. You're going to need to attend to that tomorrow night.
I will be there, and they will have no need to worry. I will have something for them.
Okay, we have Leif joining us momentarily. Excellent.
Sweet.
Lord Aldegar, one question. Are there any, how can I say, resources that you can leave for us? We'll be needing a place to stay. Any other people or retainers that you have in the city that we can make use of?
My house is available to those of the coterie if they so wish.
There's a reason I chose those that I did. Either they are established of a house. Now, Cadern may have chose differently. That is something you're going to have.
I have my own room, but a more secure domicile might be in order. Thank you, Andreda. I will take you up on that offer.
And anyone else who wishes to take me up on the offer can do so. I have more than enough room.
With the show of hands, how many of you have land, or would have land?
Yeah, I have a haven, but it is really bad.
How about the merchant? Does Suni have land?
I don't think so. I think he's burgeoning, but I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So where would you like to stay then?
I will take up the offer, appreciatively. Closeness gives us time to bond and be better friends.
I think that worked.
Yeah, they're gonna love you bringing all these pagans to live in your house.
That's what I'm thinking. The church is
You're
gonna
not in
love
enough
it.
trouble already.
They'll learn to deal with it.
Bad Dad, could you do the virtual green screen in video?
They're questioning her stewardship now.
I'll just play nicely for them and they'll forget about it.
I say they're gonna look at her bringing all these people in and be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
All right.
I mean, we can say that you were called away on matters of state, and this could lend credence. It was a diplomatic, last second thing. As those things usually are.
It was either that or sickness.
All right.
It was a diplomatic trip to the tavern.
Leif, just to
It
fill
was
you
just
in
her
what's been going on with what you have, just what you've missed. The sires have left. Hildy, the Hollow One, the one who created you, has left, and she did not teach you much at all. She left you to the others to educate communally because she seemed to have no further need after embracing you of teaching you anything. She's just a terrible Malkavian sire.
Well, bless her for that, I guess.
However, the education you may have caught was the traditions from Lord Aldegar, and perhaps more about what you are and blood. But you gained nothing from your sire, unfortunately. Most recently, you've left to go check on your son. We're going to check on it with you momentarily when we get with everyone else. As soon as the sires released you, you didn't stick around to feed. You went to go check on your son because it's been a week. You've been gone a week. And I think that's probably pretty important to Leaf to at least check on his family first of all.
Yeah, sure. Travel-wise, how far away did I have to go?
You're not going to make it there in a night. So you're gonna have to rest because the nights are short here in May. I believe the nights are short in southern England in May.
Copy that. Bear with me for just one more minute. I'm trying to get this green screen figured out.
Nope, you're set. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, I would address the lady and thank you, Lady Windretta, for your very generous offer. As you know, the Lady Winflid is my patron, and I know that her husband and your husband are rivals. Although I would love to take you up on the offer to stay with you in your home, I think I would best be served staying at the estate that I am at, gathering what information I can gather from there.
That makes sense. You would serve better there.
Fantastic. Oh, excellent. So what I want to do is that was the beginning. That was kind of our wrap up of session 0 getting started today. So now I want to take a moment. The night is over. You've fed. We've had our first feeding. We're going into the game proper now that we have Leif. I'm going to take a second to go between each of you, and we're going to be real quick. I just want to go over what your ambition is and what your desire for the night is. The night being knowing that you're probably going to the Witan. If you don't believe your character has any business being at the Witan, I have an actual side plot for that as well. So don't feel like you have to go to the Witan if you don't feel like you would go to the Witan with your new patron in household. Because it sounds like you just hit another desire pretty early anyway. All right, so I'm going to start with Nerded Art. tell us your ambition and your desire for Roswin for the night.
Well, her ambition has pretty much stayed the same for a while now. She really wants autonomy. She doesn't want to be someone's servant. She doesn't want to be someone's wife. She doesn't want to be someone's whatever. She just wants to be herself. And the only way to really do that in her mind in the time that she lives in is to attain her own household. So that she is in charge and she can do what she wants to do without anybody else being in charge of her. In theory. Of course, we all know it doesn't really work that way.
That I believe that is an achievable goal, and therefore a pretty good, mechanically a good ambition. How about your desire for tonight?
So my desire for last session was to elevate her status. I kind of feel like, at least in her mind, she feels like she got that already. She just became a vampire and gained a whole bunch of power. So we're going to move on from that and just say that my desire for tonight, I want to go to this Witan and get all the juicy gossip. But I don't know how to word that in a way that's like a set attainable goal.
Well, finding juicy gossip that you can use against people is a desire, I would think.
All right, that's my goal for tonight. Then I'm gonna go to this Witan and I'm gonna get the juicy gossip.
Hot goss.
Exactly.
Your desire is skullduggery.
Yeah.
Big fan of skullduggery.
All right, Davey, what is your ambition and what is your desire for the evening?
So my ambition is to preserve the indigenous culture of Britain. However, my desire for the evening is probably Anarod probably knows Windreda from way back, since Windreda is a frequenter of the same taverns as he. So he probably kind of like secretly quite likes her. So his ambition for the evening is to help her not be in trouble anymore.
He appreciates that.
I like it.
Especially since you're like my landlady now, so.
Don't owe her anything.
Suni, tell us about your ambition and your desire for the night.
So the ambition is the Chronicle Long one, and the desire is the nightly one?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So ambition is touch the soil of Scandinavia once more. Return home. See what not necessarily see any folks that he knows, but return to the land that brought him.
Okay. Brought him the raid that brought him left him here by accident.
And it was their fault, and they were bad people, but that doesn't make the land bad. And then his desire is to gain a position of authority within the group.
Okay. I like that. An intrigue. Keywork. Tell us your ambition.
Kinneric's ambition is to subvert the structure of heraldry. He despises the lot of it. So that's his overarching ambition. But his desire is to further secure the station of Windreda at court for the scene.
Okay. All
kind
right.
of ironic, but it's.
Leif, what is your
Subvert
ambition?
the heraldry, except for Windreda.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You've been offered a place to live, to haven, with Windreda. It's up to you if you take that or not. I know that your character's got a family. But you could probably move your family into the estate.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not speaking for Windreda or anything, but...
No kids.
Everybody comes for a slumber
Yeah, I
party.
think I'd probably do that to begin with. Leaf's overall objective is to get a plot of land set aside for the boy and his brother.
And what's his desire? That's something you can achieve in a night. And if you don't achieve it in a night, you can achieve it in another night.
I think his most pressing desire would be probably to try to get an idea as to who is who locally and who can be trusted and who can't be, as he's not from here.
Okay. All right. So I'm taking it everyone's going to go to the Witan. Right? Or are we going to split
Yes.
up? Everyone's going to go to the Witan? That makes things easy if everyone goes to the Witan. I like it. I like it. All right, so we're going to begin. The hall is tall and timbered. Its upright oak posts carved with coiling knotwork, not for beauty, but to speak of lineage, conquest, and blood owed. The beams above are darkened by years of smoke lacquered in soot, each one bearing the ghost of old winters and older voices. Animal hides, stiff with age, hang high in the rafters. Stag, wolf, oryx, trophies nailed to the ribs of the roof like a warning. Their shadows twitch when the flames stir. The central fire pit burns low, more ember than blaze, casting long gold and red fingers across the packed earth floor. The warmth doesn't quite reach the corners of the space, where the stone-browed Thanes and watchful Reeves keep to themselves, their voices hushed. Benches curve like a horseshoe around the fire, leaving a hollow space at the center, a place for speakers, for challengers, for the judged. There is no dais, no throne, only a high-backed seat set against the far wall beneath a crude carved cross and a boar's skull. The air hangs thick with the mingled smells of wood smoke, wet wool, old mead, and salted meat. It's not unpleasant, but it presses on the lungs like memory. Every whisper lingers longer than it should. Every glance is a weapon. This is not a hall of welcome. It's a hall where names are remembered, where loyalties are watched, and the fire burns only for those who've earned it. When would you arrive? The Witan's been going on for hours at this point and going into the night. Clearly you can only travel at night.
I was actually going to ask how long it would take us to travel from our location to the Witan, because I feel like I'm specifically going to kind of narrow in on Windretta. I don't know if it was outright said to me, but there was definitely a almost assumption that Lord Aldegar's children were somehow above us, I guess, as Ventru like to pretend to be. But, you know, being a new vampire, I'm just going to kind of accept this, and I like Windretta. You know, I've known her, and I know that she is a good woman, and so I'm going to specifically kind of come to her with this. And since she's the one that appears to be on trial, my lady, I believe it is essential that we all have the same story and the same purpose when we're asked about the banquet that we attended. Do you have any suggestion?
I like the idea of using state affairs. I went off somewhere last minute. My husband, for some reason, decided to send me off on a mission to see if I could find anyone who could be on our side, who would help keep enemies at bay. And I just happened to find you all.
I would suggest that we go with the ploy that our associates here, Suni and Leaf, are played off as traitors.
Prisoners.
You know, someone that you've made business dealings with. That way, we don't have to assume that they are
Yes.
criminals. But you know, some powerful business allies that we've made at this banquet, and we can assume that Honorad has been employed by you due to his impressive musical ability.
That is all right with Anarod.
Absolutely, that's very plausible. I am quite impressive.
I was upset with the first part, but I'm okay with the latter part. I'm not a prisoner, definitely a powerful businessman.
And your associate Leaf as well, of course.
So we got business partners now.
Yes.
Will they welcome pagans in this Witan?
I'll make
Wouldn't
them.
bet on it. Ooh.
As Northmen, it can be assumed that you abide by a pagan religion, and I cannot lie, you will be looked down upon, but it's a known and accepted fact that Northmen believe other things than Christians here in Wessex.
But they also have the goods that you can't get here in Wessex. So
Hasn't
people
stopped
will
me
look the other
before.
way.
The less said freely will prevent questions not wanted. Milady,
always my
remember,
feeling.
a lie closer to the truth is best remembered. Matters of diplomacy. Matters of diplomacy would provide the best guise for our unwarranted vacation.
As you enter the Witan, there, to the murmuring of servants, clergy, and noble onlookers, you do notice immediately Ethelgar, Elderman Ethelgar, sits solemn, with his hands kind of on a golden ring staff. He seems tired. He's been doing this all day. Thane, Ethelwine, your lord, Roswin, and the main antagonist of the evening, sits close by Ethelgar with his head close to his, whispering, speaking. And he notes as when Dreda and Kinnerick walk in, you're with Winfled. Winfled is sitting quietly off to the side with you near her. She is sewing. You are possibly sewing. I don't know what you're doing, but that's up to you to decide. But she is doing some kind of craft while she listens. I'm not sure what you're doing, but you can tell us what you're doing.
I want to activate Dawn. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. I enter and I immediately, as soon as I make eye contact with Thane Applewine, I bow, give him a little bow, show I acknowledge him. And I immediately approach Lady Winfled and kneel beside her, and I say, "My lady, I'm so sorry that I've been gone these past nights. I went to attend a banquet with Lady Windretta. There was a lady there that was interested in my work, and I'm afraid I took ill. I'm so sorry I haven't been here."
Roswin. Oh, it's so good to see you. I've sent people looking for you.
Yes.
You look so unwell. Just give me a manipulation plus subterfuge check, Roswin.
Sure.
Your first one. This is your closest friend.
2. I can re-roll. I'll use a willpower to re-roll. I need to be
You can
convincing.
only re-roll 2 of those.
Yep, that's fine.
You don't need to, but if you want, but okay.
A little better. Yes, my lady, I'm so sorry. We took ill at the banquet, and I just have not felt well these past several days. But as soon as I heard of the Witan, I knew I must come and be by your side. And I'm so sorry for my absence.
She says, "Oh, my husband is in quite the state. He smells an opportunity to take Cuthwin's land while he's at war. And he's going to stop at nothing until he does. This is a frightful place for Lady Windretta."
Has your husband said anything besides trying to use this Witan to acquire land?
To me, no. No, but I can't speak of it now. We'll speak of it later.
Of course, my lady, of course.
Suni, Leif, you are getting quite a few interesting looks from the housecarls and the Reeves who are in attendance. But when they see who you're with, they don't seem to back down, but they seem to at least stand by and let you by.
I'll offer a shallow bow.
I offer proper courtesies and proper bows, trying to earn some rapport in this hall,
Okay.
playing their games.
So while you're playing their games, I'd like you to give me a charisma plus etiquette roll.
Wahoo!
And hit me with just a difficulty 2. I'm not sure what your roll is. If you have at least a 4 in the dice pool, you can take half.
Okay, I'll take half then.
All right, you take half, and you make all the right moves. You're not impressing anybody, but you don't offend anybody either. You manage to clasp a few hands, clasp a few forearms in friendship. Grease a couple wheels along the way. You make a couple deals. Maybe you coordinate a sale for later, or at least business. Or maybe a rendezvous later for blood. But you seem to make inroads to the Saxons here at the Witan, and you don't step on your toes.
And I'm doing my best the whole time to sing the praises of Lady Wendretta.
Okay.
Making sure that these men know that she is not to be looked down upon for any of her doings to incur this meeting tonight.
All right. Okay, fantastic. Leif, you've bowed. What else? How else are you interacting? This is different for you. This is not normal.
No, not at all. So I'd try to take, maybe look over the crowd a little bit and try to get an idea of who is who's scowling at me less than some of the others. Try to get an idea as to who might be malleable in the future and who may not be.
Matter of fact, you notice someone taking mental notes of you. Particularly, he's young, bookish. He's Thane's son, Ethelwine's son. He's just interested in you. He's just taking notes. He doesn't seem to shrink away from you. You notice that he's sketching you in his little book.
What's his son's name? I would know this as
Egbert.
Egbert. Okay. Okay.
And,
Just keep him that at the top of my head. So.
Applewine is the father.
No,
you
it's
said?
Alfric. I'm looking at my notes. It's Alfric.
Okay.
Aelfric. Aelfric.
Okay, Alfric is Alphawine's son.
You were saying, Leif?
Oh, sorry, I was updating my notes here. I'll offer him a little deeper bow than I did to the rest, and I think I'll approach him.
He kind of shuffles his book closed, and he looks. He suddenly becomes very nervous. He's like, "Oh, hello, sir," and he stutters immensely. How can I help you? He seems completely flummoxed by your presence.
To see your work.
My work? He goes, I mean nothing by it, sir. I just wish to take your likeness.
That's fine. I don't mind at all. I just like to see how it's coming along.
He gingerly opens the It's not technically a book because it wouldn't be a book. Yeah, he unravels the page, the page he was rolling. The parchment he was using, and it's a crudely drawn picture. It slightly resembles you. It's nothing great. It's not like that. It would be cool though.
I'll be sure to stand somewhere where you can get a good view, and I'll bow again, and I'll go back over to where Stoonie's hanging out.
Suni's working a deal. Ginger, and graciously, being able to take half is a great thing to be able to do, and you make quite the impression. Anarid, you've seen a lot of these people before. Maybe not in the context of a Witan.
Yeah.
But there's people. There's Lady Edigifu, who's hired you before. She's a widow who's known for throwing gracious parties. She owns her land, and she is watching carefully for any signs of fracture in the court. Thane Sigbert of Colsham is here. Thane's Conewolf of Stonemere. Reeve Kinstern of Hillfolds, who you've had a problem with in the past. He's kind of a rough taxman. You've had a little bit of an issue with old Reeve Kinston.
Steve clear. I'll steer clear of him then. How are they at the moment, like deliberating? Is this like a meeting happening right now, or are they kind of like? Is this a kind of like? Are they taking a meal, or are they just kind of milling around?
I'm glad that you answered it. It looks like they finished the meal. They're kind of not milling around, but they're waiting.
Yeah, so it probably wouldn't be appropriate to just like start entertaining at this point. In that case, who was the lady that you mentioned that I've played for before?
Lady Edgifu.
Edgifu, okay. So I would sort of sidle over to Lady Edgifu. Obviously, presence is up because I'm just going to use that all the time now.
Yes.
And he would, give a polite bow. Good evening, Lady Edgifu. How do you fare this evening?
She looks up at you, completely in awe of you, completely. And she puts her hand up over her mouth and she suppresses a giggle that would seem out of place for a widow of her age and station. And she stops herself and she's, oh, hello, how are you? She misses Havershams you.
Oh, she misses Havershams me? Okay, great. I'm like, oh, well, I'm well, my lady. I was expecting to be asked here as part of Lady Windreda's entourage. This is my first Witan. I've never been to one of these great events before.
Well, if you're here with Lady Windreda, this may be your last Witan in attendance if things do not go well for her.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What is the trouble?
It seems that in the last 7 days she's gone missing, and her husband's lands have gone unattended, messages have gone unanswered, and while Cuthwin is away at war, she's been off doing something frivolous.
Ooh.
Ethelwine is petitioning the Elderman to see if he can take stewardship of the land while Cuthwin is away.
Well, I must say, my lady, I must disagree very slightly with the Elderman's appraisal of her activities. They have been anything but frivolous. Lady Windreda has been making important discussions with the Danish traders that we have here, and she's secured a very, very interesting resource for the community. They'll be bringing all kinds of fancy things from foreign lands. It's very exciting.
She'll have her time. She'll have her chance to defend herself, I'm sure.
Was I close enough to hear any of that?
Yes. There's a lot of murmuring, but it's a small enough location where if you're anywhere near Suni or Anarad, you can hear this.
Might you speak for my lady? It would mean a tremendous amount to have you in her corner. It would be most marvelous if you could speak out on her behalf.
Make a manipulation plus presence roll.
Manipulation plus presence.
No, I'm sorry. No. Make a charisma plus persuasion plus your presence, because you have to add your presence to it. Yes, thank you.
All right, that is 4 plus 5 plus 6. That's 6 dice.
You're asking this woman to put her reputation on the line for another woman. This could be interesting.
Yeah, but I'm asking nicely.
You are asking nicely. And you're down. You have 100 dice, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I've just lost track of the. I've lost. Oh, here it is. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 hunger. Let's roll it.
Oof.
Oh, is that wash?
That is a wash.
Oh, that sucks. All right. I'm gonna spend a willpower to reroll 3.
3 of those, yes, please.
Add my hunger again. Oh, I don't add my hunger, do
That was
I?
the first, yeah.
No, you don't add your hunger. Just 3 dice.
Just 3 dice. Yeah.
Difficulty
here we
is
go.
3.
That's 1 success.
That's
All right,
one
that
success.
sucks.
She looks to you. She goes, and she puts a hand on your hand. She has a very charming scop. But my lands are at risk as well. If I speak up, I put the proverbial target. Well, she doesn't say proverbial. I put the target upon my back as well.
I understand, my lady. I understand.
Kinnerick. This has been going on around you, murmuring about your lady. How do you react? What do you do? What do you do at this Witan? Do you just post up? Tell us.
No. When I arrive, I greet the doorman as I would any other time, as if
Okay.
I'd come back from a long trip, expected or otherwise. I grasp their forearms. I greet them. Kaelin, next time we're at the alehouse, it is on me. It is good to see you. So on and so forth. But when Lady Windretta makes her entrance, it's all business. I am at her station. It is not my place to speak to anybody on her behalf. I am merely serving my purpose here, though for all accounts, it is business as usual for anybody who would look upon. And as I enter the hall, I do activate Daunt.
Okay, so as you activate Daunt, I take this is after you clasp arms with the man?
Yes, this is after I'd made my greetings with everybody. Yes,
All
of
right,
course.
after
No,
you
this is
activate
this is
Daunt-
for the purpose of the Witan. This is presenting an air of intimidation towards any suppositions of wrongdoing.
All right, you notice that lesser men will avoid making any kind of eye contact with you in your presence there, and no one really seems to want your attention. Everyone
Good,
seems
that's
to be
fine. I'm a
avoiding you, and that's
stalwart here.
exactly the what you were looking to accomplish by activating Daunt in the Witan. Wendretta,
Indeed.
you've heard the murmurs, the whispers. Cuthwin is away. Ethelwine wants to put your land under his stewardship. How can it be under the stewardship of a woman? How does that make Wendretta feel?
So internally, very angry, hearing things, milling about and, trying to take things away just because she's a woman. And oh no, she went away for a little while and, no one else can take care of anything because, you have to be told what to do. But on the outside, her face is just like stone. There's no emotion whatsoever. Like, if anything, she looks more annoyed that she needs to be here because why am I wasting my time with this? I should be somewhere else.
Is there
I'd
anyone
like
that
to
you
approach
approach
Lady
to talk to?
Wendretta.
Oh, sorry, Leaf?
I'd like to approach Wendretta.
Okay, go ahead.
In low tones, I'll say to Windretta, should they believe that there's a number of Danes coming to your land, it's possible that they'd be less likely to want to be messing around there.
Yes. Um, I do agree with that. I think telling them about that will most be wise. But she doesn't really talk to anybody other than Leif. She just kind of, takes her place and is just kind of standing there or sitting there waiting. Like, okay, let's get the show on the road.
And we are going to get that show on the road as soon as we come back from after our 10-minute break. So and then we will begin the waiting at that point and scenes from there on forward. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you shortly.
Yes.
All right, we are back, everyone. Thank you. Just to fill you in, we were at the Witan, the council. Alderman Ethelgard's council. We were trying to figure out the fate of Lady Windretta's land holdings, or actually her husband, Alderman Cuthwin's land holdings, whilst he is away at campaign. Will they be held in stewardship by someone else? Thane Ethelwine? Perhaps? Who knows? We're about to find out.
Thane Snack, more like.
These cards are coming in very handy. Thank you for posting them like that. I really do appreciate it. As the night draws on, Ethelgar looks to Ethelwine. He says, "You may speak now, Thane." Ethelwine stands. In the absence of the Honorable Lady Windretta for over 7 nights with her husband at campaign and her silent, I ask only that the Eldermen see to the peace of our land. For 7 days more, the house of Cuthwin stood quiet. No smoke rose from its chimney. No steward bore message, and no priest called to keep the holy days. Those who serve her spoke in riddles or not at all. I mean no insult. I do not speak to shame a nobleman, nor question the worth of her blood. But we are not kings here. We are caretakers of fields, of folk, of order, and when one such pillar falters, even by accident, we must shore it up before the roof breaks. Alderman Cuthwain entrusted his house to Lady Windretta. We know this. But with his sword in the north and her place left unguarded, it falls to us, to you, Alderman, to ask what must be asked. I propose no punishment. I call no guilt. I ask only for clarity and for stewardship. Let a hand be placed, a trusted one, to tend her lands and hear her reeves until her presence is restored with full voice and full account. That is all. If her absence was a matter of sickness, it may rise again. We see that we are here, but should we send grief? Should we send aid? Would we offer prayer? But silence is a poor answer to lawful duty. And the folk notice. They always notice. Let us not act not in judgment, but in justice. For her sake, for the peace of Wessex. He sits, and he looks smugly directly at Windretta. And you hear, "Here, hear, hear," from some assembled thanes. "Yeah, by the witch, yeah."
I glare at the crowd.
Anarod is going to sidle over to where Roswin is. Like, Roswin, this Athelwine fellow, we need to find some scurrilous rumors about him. Do you have any idea where we might find such a thing?
I'm afraid the rumor mill runs hardest over at the good lady. I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of her name. The lady that you just left.
Oh, Aidberg, yeah.
Is usually the best source of rumor in this current state. Again, I'm gonna kind of look around the room. Yep.
Ethelwine is your lord. So you can
Yes.
come up with any rumors you want about him if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, for sure. I just want to make sure that if I start generating rumors about the Lord, there is at least a grain of truth there.
Yes, fair enough.
So
Peeking out of the scullery maid's chamber.
yeah, so exactly. So I'm gonna kind of look around and see. Are there any servants from Ethelwine's estate present that I would be familiar with, friendly with?
Yes, there are some more of the lady in waiting with the Winfled. She has her entire entourage with her.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of ask the other ladies. I'm gonna be like, does anyone know what this is about? I mean, clearly, Ethelwine's been after, the estate for years now. We know that they're rivals, but do we know what brought this on? This is very strange that he's doing this now. Is it just her absence for a week? That seems trivial.
A letter was delivered. Perhaps we can get it for you. We haven't read it, but a letter was delivered, which seemed to have set the Lord off.
Ooh.
He's been raging.
Yes,
he's been raging for a week about her being missing, almost as long as she's been gone. Apparently.
How can we come upon this letter?
I believe it's in Lady Winfled's possession.
Okay. So, my patron, Lady Winfled, correct?
Yeah. Yes, Ethelwine's wife.
Okay. So I'm gonna approach her, and my lady, I hear that there's been some intrigue this week. Some sort of mysterious letter.
Her face becomes very grave, and her voice becomes very hushed. Roseman, how did you hear about that?
You know how the ladies talk.
Not in the Witan, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I understand. I understand, milady. I hope only to assist the Lady Windretta in clearing her name. You know that she was present at the banquet with me, and I can assure you that she meant no harm in going. She was simply answering a call from a wealthy patron, and she was able to make several very lucrative business alliances at this meeting.
There was a letter, and but later.
I understand, my lady.
Ethelgar stands. Lady Windretta, I call you to the Witan. Speak now on the words of Thane Ethelwine. He does not call you to guilt. He just calls you. And you must answer.
So the first thing I do is stand, and I face everybody. And am I allowed to use presence in this since I have it, or no?
You have awe, correct?
Yes, I do.
You may add presence to your social roles.
All right, so I have presence.
As long as they can see you.
And I'm looking at everybody, and I'm kind of making sure I'm making eye contact with everybody that I know that wants to see me gone, and especially Ethelwine. Give him that very long, particular, hard look. And I did not realize that I needed to spell out to everyone the duties that they must do if either myself or my husband were not around. I did not realize that I employed such small-minded individuals. That being said, I was gone for a week on a business transaction. I was offered an opportunity to meet with some merchants, some Dane merchants. They're going to be able to help us. They will be able to bring more to our tiny town of Winchester that we have right now. I mean, is this not a good thing? Is this not something that Winchester, needs? Why am I being questioned for being gone when it's obviously of something of great importance to not just me, but for all of us, every one of us in this room?
Ethelwine waits for you to finish your impassioned speech, but I would like you to make a charisma plus persuasion plus your presence.
So charisma and persuasion, that's 6, 7, and 4 of them are red, correct?
Yeah, was she allowed to feed?
She has not had a chance to feed yet.
Yay!
Ooh.
Yeah,
Don't
Josh.
frenzy the Witan.
Can't hear you. I think you're muted, brother.
What it is. At the mention of the merchants, is there anybody who looks my direction?
Yes, plenty of people look over in your direction.
I would love to just stare back with Eyes of the Beast.
Eyes of the Beast. Oh.
You're gonna break Masquerade. You're breaking Masquerade with big red glowing eyes.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if my intimidation could add to her roll, perhaps.
You're gonna go Eyes of the Beast.
Is it? No. Well, there's no Masquerade. Is this?
Stop helping.
I felt like it was more subtle than that. Is it not a little bit more subtle?
Do you want Inquisitors? This is how you get Inquisitors.
Do you want Church Hunters on night 2? This is how you get Church Hunters on night 2.
I was
Vampire
imagining
Inquisition starts now.
I was imagining it more as like a shooting daggers with like a little bit of extra. But if it's super obvious,
what you're looking for would be more like Dread Gaze, which is the presence power. This is your eyes turn red and glow.
Okay, if it's that, then I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Ethelstein steps up. He goes, You admit to cavorting with pagans. You leverage your land to work with. You leverage the safety of Wessex to work with pagans. Everyone else around doesn't seem to be buying into him. Everyone seems to be buying into you. You did get 4 successes, but he's really leaning in. He's really trying. So he's going to. So you've made in social combat. You have made your roll, and you've gotten 4 successes. And he is now trying to overcome that with his meager test. Pagans. I can't believe it. You would cavort with pagans and you would put all of Wessex in danger to make deals with pagans? And he's going to make his charisma plus persuasion, but he has no presence to add to that.
You should get a penalty for my intimidation.
No.
Sit your ass down.
And he's
Go home, Karen.
He actually, people begin to laugh at him a little bit, and you can see it affects him as he takes 3 superficial willpower damage from losing to the audience. He's in front of his elderman, and this is big. People are laughing at him, and they're on your side, Wendretta. You can press the attack the moment right now if you wish.
How could I press the attack in that way then? Just keep
parading him if you want.
Let him in his place.
All right. So the first thing I do is I actually crack the smallest smile at him. You're being taken down by a room full of not your peers, but people who are, below you. They're laughing at him. So, of course, I crack a smile. And so I look at him and I say, pagans, that's what you're worried about? No one else in this room seems to be worried about pagans except for you. Who cares what they believe in if it gets us, further along?
When you say that, you hear, "Excuse me?" And the bishop steps out.
Ooh. Ow.
The bishop, of all
I
people,
know, right?
has stepped forward.
Yeah, and I look at the bishop and I say, yes, Christianity rules here, and I myself am a fellow Christian. I go to church very often. As you know, I do my prayers. I say what I need to say, but there is nothing wrong with accepting a couple of pagans who can help us. What are two pagans against the rest of us Christians? How much damage do you think that two pagans could bring, quite honestly?
If I may, lady.
You may.
Aldrich, the bishop, begins to say something, but Alphagar raises his hand to let Leaf speak.
I would like to take a moment to remind the lords that any deal struck with the Danes would be rendered null and void should anyone else take control over the house, over Lady Windretta's house.
Do you really wish to lose such a lucrative deal to something as two pagans? Something that will bring riches to us?
A light bulb goes off in Ethelwine's head. He goes, "But you have not told us what this deal is." Well, let the Elderman decide whether if it is a adequate deal or not.
Do I not speak for the alderman in his absence? Isn't that not why I am brought before the Witan?
You are brought before Alderman Ethelgar.
Well, if I'm brought before him for this, surely, if my husband trusted me with his lands, surely he trusts me to make deals in his name as well.
Ethelgar looks to Ethelwine. She is correct, Thane. Should we bring this... Do you wish that I bring this to the king? Okay, there's a darkened... In your dice... one moment, guys. In the dice, you should see a browse themes in the dice room up in the upper right-hand corner. Left-hand corner. Upper right-hand corner, yes. Browse themes is a D20. Click that. And you're going to search for Darken the World and just drag those dice into the thing. Darken the World.
I should already have all that.
Yep. He looks to you, Windretta. He goes, but if we're going to make a decision, we must know the deal. You must tell us the details of the deal.
Details of the deal can be made somewhere else. I'm not going to speak them before everybody in this room. Some of us who are not lords or ladies, they do not need to be privy to such information right now.
Give me a manipulation plus subterfuge roll.
Do I add my presence to it?
Yep. So those 4 red dice.
None of your beeswax.
Yeah, exactly. You're giving them another of your beeswax, and I want to see if they're going to buy it.
Okay, so that's 7, which means...
You have 7 dice for that?
Yes. My charisma is 3. My subterfuge is 2. Wait, that's 6. Wait, hold on. Manipulation is 3. Subterfuge is 2. Oh, wait, it's 6. Not 7.
Did you add your all?
Yeah, that's your all.
And then 1, 2, right? Yes, it's 6. I cannot count tonight.
You're good.
So it
Yeah,
is
bro.
6. Ooh.
Excellent.
Use a willpower.
Fantastic.
Can I use the willpower? Or is that not good?
No, no, don't, it doesn't matter if you use the willpower. Because you've got a bestial failure. Come on down.
Yay!
So,
What does that mean?
that means you have to role play your compulsion. Now, what we have learned over the course of time that it is better to just go with clan compulsions than to roll random. It gives us we've had trouble with players not being able to come up with something to do on random when they get a random one. So I'm going to pull up your clan compulsion right now. Wasn't expecting one right away. Hunger dice. Clan compulsions. You're a Ventru. This is going to be very interesting. Yes, Keywork. Ventru. Arrogance. The need to rule rears its head in the vampire. They stop at nothing to assume command of a situation. Someone must obey an order from the vampire. Any action not directly associated with leadership receives a 2 dice penalty. The compulsion lasts until the order has been obeyed. You must order someone to do something. They must obey it. If they do not obey it, you are at a -2 to all other actions. Uh-oh.
While this is happening, I'm still sitting next to Lady Winfled, and I kind of quietly ask her, "My lady, I do not wish to speak against your husband, but I feel compelled to defend the Lady Windretta. She went to this banquet with all good intentions. I don't think she deserves this punishment. Would it offend you if I were to speak on her behalf?"
Winfled looks to you. She says, "It would not offend me, but it might offend my husband."
"I understand, lady."
Windretta, did you hear what I said about your compulsion?
I did. Him and I were just talking about what I could do, because it's like, what do I do now? Okay.
You notice that during all this, he has been making eye contact with you.
Yes. So I maintain eye contact, and I tell him, this Witan was brought forth to figure out where I have been for the last week. You know where I've been for the last week. I told you where I've been for the last week. You do not question me anymore. We will talk about the trade deal some other time. Now, we need to figure out how to end this now, because you know where I've been, and I'm getting tired and quite bored of all of this, quite honestly.
I think I can get a mesmerism out of that. I think I can pull a mesmerism out of that.
I wasn't sure if I need to say like certain like things, but
try to bring it down a little bit more to commands. You can issue complex commands to a victim as long as they have the subject's gaze and relative quiet in which to issue instructions. You have to do it quickly. There's a hush on the crowd because you just dropped a couple mics on him. But you got a bestial failure. You've got a few seconds of silence to get a command out there and tell him what you want to do. But you need to make a rouse check.
I'll go to Hunger 5, please.
Yep.
A rouse check is just one, right?
Just one, yep. She stays at Hunger 4.
You don't frenzy.
Yes.
Good at least.
Well, she wasn't at a frenzy yet, but it was going to be very difficult not to frenzy soon. All right, so issue your command. What do you want Ethelwine to do?
Command you to end this charade and let me go home in peace.
All right, so you are going to make a manipulation plus dominate roll versus his intelligence plus resolve.
Do I add the presence as well?
You know what? I think he's completely unprepared for this. from a woman. He has no idea this is coming. This has never happened to him before, and the book specifically says no roll is required against an unprepared mortal victim. So you speak to him, and with the power of your voice echoes in his soul, and he stops, and he turns to Ethelgar. He goes, "She is innocent. The land is hers. We should let her go." And he sits down. And the room is stunned silent. Ethelgar just is stunned silent.
When Dreda kind of looks around, sees that everyone is, relatively all shocked, nods her head once, and just walks out the door. She's like, I'm done with this. I'm done with all of you. I'm out.
As you're walking out,
With all due etiquette, of course.
with all
Yeah,
due
of course.
etiquette,
Oh, yeah. I do have good etiquette.
the fire's burning low in the mead hall as you're turning to walk out, and the smoke hole above lets in a shaft of cold gray light, catching dust and breath alike as the assembled thanes sit in heavy silence after what the judgment is about to be levied as you're beginning to walk out. Then boots strike stone, measured and sharp. From the benches near the lower hearth, Wolfred of Ernford rises, a tall man in wool cloak. Known to you, Wendretta. He's Cuthwin's former squire. He's a tall man in a wool cloak trimmed in pale squirrel fur, the sign of ambition without bloodright. His sword belt is empty, but the scar beneath his left eye tells another story. He was once squire to Ealdorman Cuthwin before the war, and since then he's lingered in the courts like a hunting hound without leash or master. He speaks without being asked, loud enough for the banners to hear. He was a noble lady, deserves a sword of a known man. His voice smooth but stained with edge, not a shadow who vanished with her and returns without explanation. Not a bastard. A few heads turn, a few brows rise. You stand next to Wendretta like a stone post, Kenrick. Wolfred steps forward, bowing to Lord Ethelgar first, but his eyes never leave Wendretta or Kenrick. If her husband's mantle is not hers to carry, then let her have a champion worthy of her seat. I'd take that bird if no one else will. I call out Kyneric, the bastard. I'll be her sworn sword. She deserves it.
She deserves to have you sit down. Would you know me? Would you know me now? Would you have word spread of me putting you on your back? Is that the esteem that you seek? I protect this lady. It is my right. It is my duty. And if you would like, I would protect her from your mouth.
He steps forward, a smile over his ugly face. He's, I'll see you outside, sir.
You won't see me. You'll see the sky.
Dang.
What was that guy's name again?
Wolfred.
Thank you.
Adara's like, well, obviously, I'm going to watch this.
And Wolfred steps out of the mead hall, and people follow him.
Fight, 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 fight.
Very dramatic.
He grabs his sword and he goes, I'm prepared. Who pays the weregild for a bastard? He grabs his sword, he grabs his shield, and he clangs them together as he stands in the area before the Thanes and the Eldermen don't seem too concerned about what's going on. Most of them seem to be taking bets. What?
Oh, God.
What do you do, Kenrick?
I was hoping not to have to spend coin to have the smith take more etches out of my blade. So, I'll ask you now. Sword and shield or bare fists?
We fight with steel, bastard.
Then you'll feel its bite. You offer this challenge, you come to me.
With that, he gives a hearty yell, and he swings his sword at you in a wide arc, bringing it down from a high swing from above. Swinging it. Are you? Tongue tied. Are you attacking or are you defending?
I don't want to absolutely obliterate this person. Like, I mean, to chicken chunk the guy would be, you know, not. Do I have a shield with me? I have a round buckler shield, right? To go with my blade. Okay, yeah. I was gonna jokingly say I catch his blade in my hand. No. I swing my shield out to break his wrist.
Okay. So you're just using the shield. All right. So he's going to give me a strength plus brawl versus your composure plus brawl. I've got 3 successes. As he swings the sword down on you. And you try to block it with your shield. Are you spending a willpower?
Yeah, I don't need a bestial failure now.
Fine. All right, you both. As you swing and you do hit his wrist, but his sword does bite into your armor. He doesn't bite through it. You each take a superficial damage as the wounds deflect off each other. And he swings and he howls and he comes back at you. And he calls you a bastard one more time. He's not very creative in his language with you. But he swings the sword backhanded, attempting to get you. What do you do?
I do a feint, and I actually, like, following through, I actually drop my sword, and I just square him right in the jaw.
All right, give me a strength plus
with my
brawl.
fist.
Versus his 6 dice of a trying to stab you like a kebab.
Are you lethal bodying this?
I don't need to. I mean, it's a passive, though. It's always active, right?
I think you have to make it active, right?
God damn, dude.
I mean,
I'm going to roll the willpower, then. There we go.
Oh, okay. So how many did you get total?
GG's.
So a crit plus 4.
Crit plus 4. So I got a crit plus 3. So you got 1 over. All right. So you connect square in the nose as you punch him. But you rock his head back, and he bleeds a little bit, and he drops his sword. And he attempts to grapple you to wrestle you to the ground on turn 3. We're going to end it at we're going to go 3 and out. And we're going to see how this one goes. So far, you're winning the contest because you've actually managed to do 1 real superficial damage to him. He's attempting to grapple you to the ground to pin you down. What are you doing?
I do use lethal body to punch him in the ribs.
Ooh. Okay. Ow. Bro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody's going to see it. We're tussling on the ground. Was that his roll?
That was his roll.
Can I take half?
No.
Strength plus brawl, right?
Yep.
Oh, where's our log of pre-rolls?
They go away.
Boo.
Oh my god.
I try not to punch through him. I'm just trying to break his ribs, really.
You break his ribs. And you puncture his lungs. As he begins bleeding.
Roars in delight.
He begins coughing blood. as you landed just a strong blow into him. You have done, so it wouldn't be halved. 4, 5, 6 on top of what he's already had. Okay, absolutely. So you launch a punch into his ribs. Completely. Did you make your rouse check for lethal body?
I did not. I am hungry.
I don't actually. You may not even need to make that. I'm just double checking. Just hold on to that. That may be necessary.
Actually, no. I think it's free.
It probably is free. It is free. It is absolutely free. All right. So, as you punch into him, you break all the ribs on that side of his body, puncturing his lung and his heart. He begins coughing up blood. It doesn't last very long, fortunately. He just passes over, falls over, dead. Give yourself a stain.
Okay.
Everyone just gets quiet.
But wait. So is it because I've killed before? I mean, I assume.
Yeah, you would have gotten stains too, but now it's
only spill blood.
Yes,
but I smelt blood with the sake of honor. So
you killed him.
Yeah,
you killed him. Take your stain. Be happy with it.
I stand up.
Everyone's quiet. Everyone's
Ethelgar.
It's
what's his title? It's not Lord, right? I address him as Lord.
Elderman.
No, Elderman. Ethelgar. Take your man.
It's not this. It's actually Cuthwin's man.
Oh, that's right, Cuthwin. Oh, that's right. Whomever. I don't know.
He's from your household.
Yes. This is not what I wanted. This is not the renown that I wanted. Though when put in a place for honor determines our actions. I'm sorry that you all
Ethelwine speaks up like the Weasley is. There will be a man of Weregild.
The challenge was his to make, it was mine to meet. It was the end that he sought and asked for. And now, Lady Wendretta does have a known escort.
Everyone just kind of backs away from you because you just punched a man to death in front of them. It's not something you see every day.
Surely he had low bone density. Osteoporosis or something of the sort.
Acute onset tuberculosis.
He's suffering from bonitis.
My one regret.
Very well.
I escort the lady back to the keep.
How does everybody else react to what just went down?
Boys being boys.
Leaf would applaud. He appreciates such behavior.
Windretta is used to him standing up for her. This is nothing new.
I give Leaf a nod.
Sunni is just glad to be in league with this warrior.
Note to self: do not get on Kenric's bad side.
And that's
Very
your
loud
business, but this
statement.
guy was asking for it, so
I nod to Anarwind again as well. It's a very loud statement to make with 4 knuckles.
As you're leaving, Wendretta, Kenric, and everyone who's leaving with them, Ethelgar, the elderly old elderman, raises his voice. If it matters to you, Lady Wendretta, we rule in your favor.
That was quite apparent.
He's so catty.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you're heading back, Roswin, you're heading back to Ethelwine's?
Yes, I will be attending the Lady Winfled.
All right, and Wendretta, you're heading back to your hall?
Yes, I am.
Who's
I
going?
offer my arm to her.
Who's going with Wendretta?
Well, I live with you guys now,
Leaders.
so yeah, I'm going with you.
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
Elliot,
Party at Windreda's house.
Windred, are you going to feed by any means?
I would love to. I am pretty hungry.
You are pretty hungry. All right,
I
so
also need
you're gonna need to do a feeding challenge. Let me pull up your character sheet real quick.
You know, he could be really, really hospitable and, offer, the elderman or somebody to stay, in our place tonight. So where's everybody bedding down?
Where's everyone bedding down? Jesus. Crazy. All right, Leif, what are you doing? Are you going back? Are you going back with them, or are you going back to your son and checking everything that's going on there out?
Probably better check on the boy, I reckon.
All right, what is the boy's name?
There will be a slight delay. I have to look.
That's okay. Then take your time.
Boy.
Boy.
Olaf.
Olaf. Warm hugs. Love it. Olaf has missed you over the last week. Your brother has as well. They thought that you had vanished. They're clearly not used to anyone being gone for that long. A week is a long time. A week is when people start putting in missing person reports. How do you explain your where you've been? To your family.
I tell them that I've been making arrangements. For us to go to Windreda's estate. Am I remembering that correctly? That was the thing.
Yep.
And I tell them that we'll have to be careful and watch each other's backs, for they know how the Christians are.
Do you explain that you're not going to be visible during the daytime? That you have some new condition that's going to keep you out of the sun?
Absolutely.
I'd love to hear your rationalization on this.
Okay.
Put you on the spot a little bit, sorry.
Yeah, sure. I tell them that I think it might be a curse brought on me by their Christian god. But our gods are stronger.
Father, if the Christian God can curse you, can Odin and Thor save us?
If it is their will. It's not our place to know the will of the gods.
Is their God powerful, Father?
He's nothing to the true gods. It's merely a test.
You see a throbbing at the side of your son's neck. You've never noticed it before, but you can feel something warm just underneath the surface. You haven't fed either.
Take yourself to bed, boy.
He says, yes, Father. And he takes himself away. He goes and brings himself to bed. Your brother looks at you and he goes, I know the difference, Leaf. You are cursed, but not by the Christian God. What has happened to you?
Of what curse do you speak, brother?
You've been cursed by our gods. Christian God doesn't curse, he forgives. That's what they tell us all the time.
Yeah, but he only forgives their own, and one has to ask for absolution. And I would never disrespect our gods in such a way. It's merely a test, like I said to the boy, and I'll clap him on the shoulder.
Very well, brother. If we must move with the Christians, we will move with the Christians. We will live with the Christians, but we will not give up our ways.
As it should be. We will use these Christians for their wealth and grow our own stake by root.
Excellent. I'm glad at least you have a plan. Suni, what kind of preparations do you make to moving into from what you were doing prior to all of this to now being offered a spot in Lady Wendretta's household?
I would have made sure that what's his name? That Aelfward knows where to find me, should he need me. And I make sure that I have express invitation from Wendretta, as I cannot pass the threshold without it. Outside of that, though, I'm trying to go with the flow and trying to figure out the entry points and exit points of my new whereabouts, and trying to see who can be seen around to be bribed and whatnot to look the other way, as I might use this as a... I've moved up in the world. I might have some other things to trade soon.
Fantastic. Anarid, same question for you. How do you prepare your life from whatever you were doing before to a more settled household bard?
Well, my position in my current domicile leaves something to be desired. I've been sleeping in the cellar of a tavern that my friend Vilna the brewer owns. So I will go to the tavern, and I will explain that I will not be cluttering up her living space any longer, and explain to her that I will be moving to Wendretta's estate.
She looks at you. She raises an eyebrow. Really? You'll be moving in with the Lady Wendretta?
Well, not like that, but yeah, she has need of entertainment, as you know.
Oh, she wriggles her eyebrows. Entertainment, I see.
Again, putting words in my mouth, not good. Music. She is, she's a steward for her husband's holdings, and has need of a court of her own. Has need of a bard, a poet, scop, if you will. She'll be entertaining.
A lady
soon,
of refined taste.
Absolutely, a lady of refined taste. And naturally, she's undertaken to procure my services, which I think is a wonderful. And don't worry, I'll be back here whenever you need me to entertain your guests. I just won't be living in the cellar anymore. It's cold down there and damp, and there's not very much room. It smells of onions. I mean, I'm very grateful.
I'm very grateful. I love it.
It's a feature, not a bug. Even less sunlight, though.
Do you have heightened senses or sense the unseen? I can't remember.
Sense the unseen, I think we decided.
All right, so no, you're not really smelling those onions right now, because that was going to be fun to describe.
Everything about my clothing smells of onions at this point, so I smell the onions all the time.
All the time.
Whether I'm in the cellar or not.
Excellent.
You don't even smell them anymore. People around you are just like, where's that onion smell coming from?
Nerd
I need to get some
art.
clothes.
I don't know,
I'm
it's
gonna
just
ask. I'm gonna ask
everybody
Madrid to buy me
like
some
dungeons.
clothes.
You can have some onion sacks.
Onion sacks. All right. Well, I'm sending Nerd art. I'm sending you something, as you are back in your household. Ethelwine's home with Windfled. Just before dawn, she brings you the following, and I'm going to send it to you. It's on its way. Where did you go?
You'll have to send it. You'll have to send it to Wildwood because I'm on his
Thank
Discord.
you.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yep.
It'd be great if you were sending a letter, but it was all gobbledygook because she was illiterate.
I can read, damn it.
Not Shadowheart.
And there is the letter for people who wish to read it. But I'll have you read it out loud, Rosewind. This letter is given to you by the Lady Windfled.
To Thane Ethelwine of Winchester, you are right to raise the matter of Lady Windretta. With her husband gone to war, she has begun to speak and act as though his mantle were her own. The folk may find her poise admirable, but such clarity in a woman is seldom innocent. You are not alone in your concern. Others, too, have seen the way her household moves in silence, how her attendants offered no word of her whereabouts during her absence, nor explanation upon her return. These are not the habits of a grieving wife or faithful steward. You will be watched at the Witan. If you act in haste, it must appear as duty, not ambition. But should you expose her failings, many would stand behind you in the name of tradition. Speak the old laws, invoke the king's peace, make it known that you do so not for power, but to prevent scandal before Cuthwin's return. If you move carefully, you will not stand alone, a friend of the order. This is most concerning, lady. Do you know what it means?
No, I do not. I can barely read it myself.
The order he speaks of. Who pulls at these strings and wishes to see Lady Windretta's downfall?
Well, Lady Windretta is not known for having many enemies at court. It's interesting that anyone would scheme against her.
Indeed. It's most peculiar.
Now, the handwriting was not masculine. It was it was not elaborate, but it wasn't curse. It wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
It's not like calligraphy.
It's not calligraphy, no, it's not. But it's a sweeping style. It's not coarse. It's not barbaric. It's a nicely written letter.
May I keep this, my lady?
Flowery, thank you. It's very flowery. Yes, you may. Yes, please, by all means. I just keep it from Ethelwine. He shouldn't know that you have it.
Of course. And I conceal it in my handy dandy pocket.
The first of its kind.
Jumped right over Pox. Straight to pocket.
The night passes. The day rises. Before that happens, I want you to try to hunt, Ellie. I want you to try to feed on a noble in your household. You do have guests. You do have hostages and people fosters that you are holding on to. And bastard. There's a royal bastard that your husband is trying to get legitimized.
Who then?
I remember your.
Yeah, it's.
Yep.
Right, so my prototype is Scene Queen.
Hunting is on 306. I'll get your dice pool in 1 second for hunting. You're a Scene Queen. So you're going to give me a manipulation plus persuasion roll.
Okay.
Remember, you have 4 hunger.
Alright, so that's 6. That means oy vey.
Oy vey, indeed.
I know, right?
She can't use her presence, or presence for that, can she?
No. She cannot. But with your chassis being what it is, you have three. You got the 3 successes you needed to feed. How many would you like to? How much would you like to feed? You're at 4 right now. You're very hungry. You could take 2 and not hurt your vessel.
I'll take 2 and not hurt my vessel.
All right. And then I assume you're going to lick the wound afterwards. But you do not have compel. But do you have cloud memory?
I don't. I just have compel and mesmerize.
All right. So you're going to have to tell them never to tell anybody, or come up with some way to hide your feeding.
Well, did you get them nice and super drunk before you fed them?
Question. How old is the bastard?
How old are you?
He's 30.
The bastard is only 15.
Well, I'm going for the bastard because, I hate my husband, and I hate that he's brought this bastard into our home. I mean, it's bad enough I can't give birth to his children. Now he's trying to legitimize a bastard. That ain't gonna happen. But I also don't want to kill the kid. It's kind of like a little... I don't even know what the word is. It's kind of just for me that I'm going after this kid. So I walk up to him and where do we normally feed off of? Is it like stereotypically the neck, or is it somewhere else?
That's actually up to you. How do you feed?
I
mean, let's be honest. The act of feeding is intimate. So you're like creating it. So just think about that. Courage above all, respect your elders. I just wanted to check your convictions real quick. Make sure there's no stepmother shit on there.
Seeing, yeah, right, Mother Grothel or something over here. So I walk up to him, and remembering from earlier, I feed off of his wrist, and I take just enough. And then once I'm sated enough, I release and I lick the wound, and then I look him in the eye, and I just tell him one word: forget.
Unfortunately, that you can't do that.
I can't. Damn.
Can't do that. No, not yet. Not until you get forgetful mind, or you had compel or cloud memory.
Okay. What should I say? And it has to be a one-word thing, right?
Well, you have mesmerism. You can tell them a bunch of. You can give a whole command. You just can't really tell them to forget. You can tell them to be loyal to you, to never tell anybody what happened, something like that.
So after I'm done, I look him in the eye, make sure I have eye contact with him, and
you have eye contact with him.
Oh yes,
you have nothing but his attention right now.
Just that strong eye contact.
Well, she has his blood too.
And I tell him that he is to remain loyal to me, and to tell no one of what I have. Tell no one of anyone what I have just done to him.
Okay, so you will have to roll this one.
Bird.
You will have to roll for this one. So you're gonna roll your dominate for mesmerism is manipulation plus dominate versus intelligence plus his resolve, which is not great.
Do I do the 4 hunger, or am I down to 2 now?
You are down to 2 hunger.
Okay, so that's good. Dominate and persuasion, right?
Dominate? No, manipulation plus dominate.
Manipulation.
Yep.
All right, so that's 5.
He nods his head.
I rolled one too many black die, unfortunately.
Roll it again. Roll the right number of dice. You might get the right result that you're looking for. You might get less. As you issue the command, he looks you in the eye and he says, "Of course. I would never tell anyone what just happened."
I don't need to use willpower then on this. He just agreed, right?
Well, that's what he said. You can use willpower on it, though.
I would.
Okay, use your willpower, because he's just agreeing with you. You didn't actually compel him. He's just being like, yes.
How many can I re-roll?
Re-roll 3 of them. All right. So you do not succeed, but you do not fail. You just tie. So nothing happens. He goes about his business. He does not run to. You don't know if he runs immediately to the bishop or not. You may have made a mistake. You may not have. All right. The night ends. The day goes. The sun rises. The sun sets. You rise. Everybody make a rouse check. Actually, don't make a rouse check. We're actually going to... Well, Keywork's the only one who had to make a rouse check. No one else make a rouse check. You're fine, Keywork. I just noticed the time. We're actually going to start wrapping it up. Go ahead.
Oh, no. If we're wrapping it up, it probably won't matter, but I was going to say I didn't have a chance to feed.
Go ahead, feed.
Either.
Yes, feed too. Sorry, I apologize.
Okay. No, not a big deal either way. So with Veil Feeder, I roll Dexterity plus Subterfuge. I'm kind of hoping that someone comes in to visit me during the watch hour, and I have an opportunity.
With your chassis, that would be more than enough successes, and you can feed.
Fantastic.
All right.
I will do that, and I will make them forget with my cloud memory.
That's a wonderful power.
The best.
The best.
Yeah, I should have taken that instead of compel, I think.
All right, everyone. That wraps up our first night. I'm going to go around and ask if everyone enjoyed themselves. I hope you did. I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. I was a little nervous tonight. I'm not going to lie. I felt nervous about pacing, and I was really nervous. And I'm glad everyone is here. And I wanted to cut us off with enough time so we could go around and talk about the things that we liked, but not start us off onto something new and keep us on a cliffhanger. This type of game we're doing is not the night-to-night game, where we're not picking up immediately the next game kind of situation. So it's not going to be years that are going to pass, but maybe a night or two or a week, probably a week, because that makes kind of sense with our schedule. We'll come up with something. I'm going to start with Leaf today with Bad Dad Gaming. I know you were a little late, but did you have fun? Let me ask you that question first.
Oh yeah, I had a great time. I'm sure I'll ease into it a little bit better, a little more practice, and I didn't really get enough time to sit down and look over stuff and get my mind right. So it was kind of running my ass off trying to get back from work, and I was covered in oil, so I had to take a shower, and I was kind of frazzled there in the beginning. But yeah, I had a great time. I think everything went pretty well.
You did great in your spotlight scenes. I thought you were a fantastic role player, so I was super pleased. I had a great time role playing with you. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough.
I wasn't very pleased with my own. It'll come along though.
It definitely will. What did you like about tonight?
I like the way that the coterie had to kind of play that balance between vulgar display of power and getting along the way they needed to get along in the Witan, right? Because there was huge potential for serious problems in that scenario, I think.
All right. Now, this is our first night, but be honest with me, is there anything that didn't gel with you? Anything that I could fix, that I could do better?
No, I think you did fine, man.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Keywork.
Tonight was hella fun, man. Kinnerick of Wessex is blooded. I love having a character who is adept at combat, because I don't usually make them. It's interesting trying to play a character who isn't wordy. Because I am wordy. But it's an interesting challenge. I had a lot of fun tonight. I love the fact that I actually got to do combat. Just out of nowhere. And of course, it's the funny thing, standing by station where it's like during the win, it's like, it is not my place to say anything, no matter how strongly opinionated I am about anybody or anything they've said, because it's not my place to speak for Windretta. So it was kind of interesting. It's just like, I'm just going to stay here this whole scene and just be silent, but the lead up to it, I have to make sure that my presence is business as usual. It's nothing out of the ordinary. This is just a trifle. But I had a lot of fun, man. Tonight was awesome. It's awesome seeing people catching their feet with their characters, and I look forward to how this is going to go. This is going to be so much fun. So, and nothing that didn't gel. I mean, the only thing... Oh, what's up? Do you have a question for me? Or?
Oh, no, I was just going to suggest to Zed that as we go around, we also resolve stains, because 3 of us got stains tonight.
We are going to do stains. We're going to do stains at the very end.
Okay, that works.
That's right.
Got that many stains in one night. Jeez.
Yeah.
Josh, to hit me, brother.
It was great. I had a lot of fun. I know for me, I was in a similar position with Bad Dad there. I was late and frazzled and didn't quite get my feet underneath myself, but we'll get there, and it'll be great when we do. And it'll be great before we do, because it's great. Really had a good time. I want to give props to Ellie. It was her first true session, and she fucking nailed it with the speech on her own behalf. Like the whole time, I was just like, wow, good job.
Thank you. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I just kind of went with it. Let my brain go.
You did so good. That was better than I could have done. And then what was the things that didn't gel? No, nothing. Everything was good.
Cool.
Now that I know this trick, we'll
I should have mentioned that.
Oh yeah, so Ellie, since it didn't get brought up, if you need to say something to the room out of character, you simply put your thumb on your forehead like you got one antler, and you wait for God to recognize it.
And Davey, Aaron, how was tonight for you?
Oh man, that was a blast, yeah. I love any session where you get to go to a party and somebody dies.
It's not a party until somebody dies.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, there's just a real party now. But no, it was really fun to see all of the politicking going on, and I was very amused by Ellie's bestial failure just at the crucial point where the ventriness just came out, but it came out in the right way. So that was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed Leaf's scene with his family and everything like that. There was a lot of good stuff, a lot of good character stuff in this session, so I enjoyed that a lot.
Excellent. For those who don't know, I'm joining Davey in his own game coming up. So I'm very interested in seeing how I do as a storyteller for you. It's I want to do good. I want to do good, as he says.
You're intimidating me, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do as good a job as you do.
Yes, you will. You'll be fine. Everyone's good at this in their own way. Rosewin, tell me about what you like. What the stuff.
Oh man, the stuff and the things. I had a great time tonight. There was all sorts of intrigue, and I got to try and kind of get in the middle of it, see what's going on. I did get some hot goss tonight. I got that letter. I'm so intrigued. Who sent this? Who's pulling these strings? We must find out. I'm sad that Rosewin's kind of separated from the coterie, being in Thane Ethelwine's house, but it's a good position to be in because she can get the other side of the story, see what's cooking from the other end.
Yeah, I think that's gonna pay off
damn
in
letter.
Meads too.
So yeah, it's been great, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Excellent. All right, that leaves us with our absolute newbie, Ellie / Windretta. Tell me all the things I want to hear.
Oh, and I totally will. I first want to say I appreciate everyone being like very patient with me while I figure all of this out. But I've had a lot of fun tonight, especially, being put on the spot like that. But it all turned out pretty well otherwise, even though I had no idea what I was doing. But I absolutely enjoyed myself on it, and the fact that they all kind of came together to be like, we need to protect her. We're not gonna let people walk all over her, even though she would be the one to not let anyone walk over her as well. And I absolutely enjoyed everything. I have no notes. You're doing great. I love it, and you're very patient with me, which I love.
Well, you don't make being patient for you hard, so don't feel bad one way or the other. All right, so let's talk about the meat and potatoes tonight. First, let's take care of remorse. All right, if you rolled a stain tonight, I want you to roll a dice for each open spot of humanity you have, which should be 1. All right, Nerd at Art, it clears her stains. He's felt enough remorse for making a ghoul. Keywork, you feel remorse for killing. You stop feeling remorse and you're fine. You do not lose humanity. Joshy, you are fine and do not lose humanity on night 1 either.
Yeah.
As you survive your remorse check. Fantastic.
Oh, I survived my sire once more.
All right, and I'm going to grant 2 XP, but I'm going to go around and ask one thing real quick. This is for an extra XP. If you have a great answer, I'm going to give you an extra XP so there's no pressure. For a total of 3. We're going to start with Windretta. Tell me something Windretta learned tonight. It can be character development, it can be plot-wise, it can be something.
Well, she definitely learned that she can now command a room if need be, and that's a pretty great power to have as a woman.
Okay, give yourself an extra XP. 3 XP, you get a total of 3 XP. Nerd at Art.
Oh man, Rosewind is pretty stoked right now, actually. She has just been given this immense gift of power, and she is aligned with Windretta, who she knows is a badass woman who she just watched bring a group of men to their knees. This is fantastic. Rosewind and Windretta are about to burn down the patriarchy, and I love it.
Damn right we are.
She got the hot goss tonight. She found out that this isn't just some lame land grab move by Ethelwine. There's someone pulling the strings. There's someone telling him to make those moves. Something larger is at play here. What's going on?
Someone's afraid of the matriarchy. All right, Davey, what did Anarad learn?
Well, Anarad is kind of in the position right now where he's sort of assessing his new companions for trying to feel them out and figure out what their deal is. And I think watching Cynric kill a man in front of him didn't actually surprise him as much as he thought it would. What actually surprised him was Rosewind making the ghoul. He's like, yeah, she's pretty ruthless. There's something going on there. Maybe that's one to watch.
Fair enough.
Make sure she doesn't go too far.
Rosewind and Davey both give yourself an extra XP for your characters.
Yay.
Suni. Your sire's a dick.
No, I kind of already knew that my sire was a dick. He made the chair in the first place.
Actually, Didn't you kill him in episode 0? So
No.
he made 2 chairs for
No,
you.
he didn't kill him. He
Oh,
didn't kill
okay.
him.
I was gonna say. Oh man, I was starting to think there were 2 chairs.
Master Chaircrafter.
No, it was the same chair. Same chair.
Okay.
Dooney learned that he doesn't have as much clout with the church as he thought he did, and that he's got a new number 1 on the hit list. That's for sure.
Who's that? Who's the new number 1 on the hit list?
That bishop.
Oh, yes. The bishop. He doesn't like pagans, but he's a bishop. Of course he doesn't like pagans.
But I thought we could work together, but clearly we can't work together.
We'll have to find the right
Unless you
priest to work
convert.
together.
Or pretend to convert.
I've seen that movie. Clergy gonna clergy.
Clergy is gonna clergy. That's for sure.
Clergy. All right, definitely give yourself an XP. Keywork. We know that you can kill a man, but tell us what you learned.
Kenrick learned how. No. Kenrick learned 2 things tonight. One of them is that these abilities are a blade so sharp you could cut yourself and not know it. It is very easy for it to go beyond what you intend, because he did intend to make a statement with what was the guy's name
Wolfric.
again? Wolfric. He made a statement, definitely. And it's a very loud statement, but it's not the statement he intended to make necessarily. He just, and so it's, one of those things where it's got to be a careful hand with this blade. We were told that already. Working backwards, the other thing that he learned is that these other Canaanites won't hesitate to use their abilities to further their goals, whatever they might be. He likewise was surprised by Rosewind taking the ghoul immediately. It's something that has put pause in his mind regarding, despite seeing how everybody did act in the interest of Windretta as a coterie, but this is something that any of these monsters, himself included, could use to create some sort of cohort that could subvert anything. He saw this almost as a power play. This is something that somebody else went and did before it was even kind of discussed amongst any of us, especially involving Windretta in the discussion of how power dynamics are going to work within Wessex. So, yeah.
Excellent. Before I get to Leaf, chat, I want you to think about things that you liked and let us know what you liked and what you didn't like. Leaf, tell us what you learned.
Leaf sees chaos as a ladder, right? And with the evident political unrest in the land, the wheels are starting to turn on if he can get a little piece of the pie cut off for himself.
I can see that. All right. The politics, that's another question. I'm not going to ask everyone individually. Was the politics boring, or was the politics at least entertaining? Because politics can be boring.
Very fitting.
It was super fun.
It was really good. It was I felt in character with it all going over my head.
Okay. All right. Just making sure that because I know politics can be boring, or they can just.
No,
be...
it was.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, thumbs up. I like it. I take it. I love Pinneray. I love these characters as well. I want to take a few moments to thank the players. They put up. You guys don't know out in the out in Chatland, but these guys put up with a lot from me because I'm very active in what I do. I don't hide, and I because I can tell you guys this face to face as we can right now. I have no expectation, none whatsoever, that anyone puts even a quarter of the effort I put into this. So if I'm putting out output, it's just because I'm bored. It's no intention that I need you to be doing stuff. It's just me filling my day. That's why I created the wiki. So chat, use the wiki because it's gonna get filled out. We're working on a wiki for extra depth. Exactly. I could use more descriptions of people. Oh, thank you for getting it there. Other projects that we are working on with this, we have the wiki. The wiki's not just for this game. It's also for our upcoming Avatar game, our ongoing Wraith game. We're going to build one out for Marvel, for the Marvel games. We're going to build one out for everything. I've got a lot of time.
Blackwater.
What's that?
Lake Blackwater.
Yes, I got to go back through and get all my old notes for Lake Blackwater. But yes, I'm going to build one out for Lake Blackwater for past games and things like that. So I've given everyone their XP for the night. Everyone's going to get their 2+1. We've resolved all stains. Our next game will be on Monday. We'll get this up on YouTube sometime tomorrow, roughly 5. I'm going to send this to Rolling Nomads Games tonight. Let me get that all set up. A raid. Rolling. So one word. Nomads. All right. I would love to thank everyone. I would like description of the NPCs. Yes, ma'am. I will get those up. We have an entire NPC description list. I will get those up for you with the actual descriptions of them. I will make sure you have that. Yes, but he asked what was the audience liked and what we did not like. I will get those for you, more descriptions. And I will use more descriptions of the NPCs in the future. Thank you for pointing that out, Dragon Jam. I realized that was a little lacking. We'll get real descriptive next game. All right. So we got the raid started. Everyone joined with me. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I will see you shortly. Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Oh man, Ellie, I feel like I'd love to get some downtime with you this week.
That would be great.
Let's do it.
I think those two would have quite a bit to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. I want to show you this letter that I got, and I feel like the coterie does a fair job of pointing out that maybe I was a little hasty in taking the midwife as a ghoul, so I want to get your character's opinion on that.
You were a little hasty. I was so surprised how quickly you went for that.
My feeling is I am making an alliance of strong, badass women, and I also need to make sure she doesn't tell anyone anything.
Yeah, I was super on board for that. I was like, that's one less memory to cloud.
Yeah, like, and to be honest, I feel like both me and Rosewind didn't even consider the fact that the Ventru can just make them forget everything. That's not something I can do.
My favorite loose end of the night, though, is the bastard. Because he's just like, yes. He's just like nodding his head. I'm not going to tell anybody about what just happened. Yes, lady.
She gets
you're like, gonna believe him anyways. They're just gonna look at him and be like, "Are you on crack or something?"
No, like I love the fact that Windrida is actually basically just someone's wicked stepmother.
She kind of is.
There's so many jokes to come out of that scenario.
She's got like just that hardcore resting bitch face. She doesn't take crap from anyone. She's like, I'm tired. I'm 30. I should be dead by now.
That's not how that works.
Pretty much. Early medieval times is like Logan's Run or something.
Oh,
No, it's all the infanticide that's really weighing down the life expectancy. That's all it is. It's all averages.
oh,
Yeah, it's really.
That's the question I have. Am I
I was gonna
getting?
say
Am I getting the setting decent enough for you guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically looked up life expectancy because I was curious in this time period, like what would be considered old or whatever. Because I originally set my character as being like 20, because I was like, oh, she's old enough to be considered unmarried. She's not marriage material anymore. She's too old.
Spinster.
But still be young. But I saw that you made your character 30, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make her 24 so that she's not so young, but still on the young side.
At least 37. He's an old man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I asked ChatGPT, which is not the most reliable of resources, but I did a little bit of internet research following it up. In that, if you were of wealth, it's pretty expected that you could live until like 50 or 60.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not of wealth, you're lucky to make it to 30.
Are we still alive?
Technically, no. We're
100%
undead
alive.
creatures.
I am very alive.
Dragon Gem says, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but life expectancy doesn't work like that. It's basically if you lived to 10, you were gonna live an average human life. 70
Exactly.
wasn't unheard of. It was very common for people to live to be very old, as long as they lived past being young.
Yeah.
It usually was like
the
before
youth.
2, really. I think that was the real make or break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those first couple of years were huge.
Yeah, but before abortificants and all that stuff, yeah, it's really bad, but a lot of humanity was infanticide. You can't take care of this kid. You're not going to subject it to a life of struggle. You're just going to end it now. It's the merciful thing to do. And our ancient whatever ancestors have all done that.
Yep.
You're lucky your ancestor didn't get tossed out.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly. We're just very lucky that we didn't end up in the pit of death.
More or less, yeah.
We're all the results
I-
of many, many coin flips.
Were I born in the time of the pit of death, I would have been pit of death.
Oh my god. So I was so preemie, it wouldn't have been funny.
I was so overdue. It wasn't even funny. My mom and I both would not have survived
Oh.
childbirth.